I've waited 30 years for this.
Hey guys, DJ here with another Battlefront related video. Let me start off by saying, oh my Jesus Lord, that reveal trailer for Battlefront 2 was fucking incredible. Anyways, within the past week or so, most of everything for Battlefront 2 has already been discussed and speculated upon. So I'm just going to jump straight into the topic I want to discuss, which is the potential inclusion of skirmish mode in Battlefront 2, also formerly recognized as instant action and offline multiplayer. Just a quick summary. Instant action, skirmish, offline, whatever you want to call it, it's essentially the ability to play all game modes offline and single player against bots. In the original Battlefront games, you could select a map, an era, a faction, and any game mode you wanted to play offline by yourself or with friends. In EA's rendition of Battlefront, this mode wasn't originally included, but after a large request from the fanbase, DICE put in a similar mode but called it Skirmish. Now, the question a lot of Battlefront fans are wondering is if Skirmish mode will be included in EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2, aside from the single-player campaign. Well, at this current time, we can really only speculate, but from my findings, I think the possibility of Skirmish being included is quite there. There seems to be a lot of hints at it, but again, this is just purely speculation and nothing officially confirmed just yet. So for starters, the first thing you'll notice on the official Battlefront 2 website is a section called Split Screen Co-op. Note that this is a separate section from the section entitled Single Player. The description for Split Screen Co-op says that we'll be able to team up with a friend, customize our troopers, heroes, and earn rewards. Not only that, but we'll be able to use whatever we unlock offline in online multiplayer. But the thing that's a real eye-opener is where it says we'll be able to team up and defeat enemies in skirmishes across all three eras. What's interesting about this little tidbit is it's both a confirmation about a few things and it seems to be a hint. First off, it confirms that it's playable across all three eras. Second is that this is a mode different than the campaign because it spans across all three eras, whereas the campaign is only set between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, which only spans 30 years. So the fact that this mode lets us play across all three eras tells us that we'll have the ability to play and experience all three eras offline and single player. The next part, to me anyways, seems to be a hint at what exactly this mode might be. The wordplay skirmishes just makes me chuckle. I'm going to assume this play on words was intentional, knowing that DICE called their instant action mode in the first game Skirmish, and I really don't see that being much of a coincidence. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, this could simply be more training or survival missions. Well, what leads me to believing that this is not the case is that the player has the ability to customize his or her character and or heroes, meaning that heroes will be playable in this mode along with normal infantry as well. We know from the training missions of the last game that they try to follow a generic storyline, so allowing players to control and customize any hero in a training mission wouldn't make much sense because it might be a little awkward to see Luke Skywalker and Yoda infiltrating Starkiller Base together. And what makes me think that these aren't survival missions is the description in their news page that reads, "In planetary engagements, you'll be transported to some of Star Wars' most iconic battlegrounds, Theed, Takodana, Starkiller Base, Yavin, Mos Eisley, Endor, Hoth, and more. You will also cooperate with AI foes in skirmishes that span across cinematic eras and engage enemies in entirely new modes." So, if this whole paragraph is referring to offline co-op, then there are a few things we can take away from this. The planets mentioned above will be planets we'll be visiting in offline single-player co-op, which is great news because it confirms a wide variety of maps for us to play on across the Star Wars universe. The mention of new modes means that whatever this co-op feature is, it won't just have one single mode, but multiple modes. It also refers to the modes as being new, meaning modes we haven't played offline in single-player before. Perhaps it will be the multiplayer modes playable against bots, or perhaps new modes exclusive to single player. What also makes me think it will be the multiplayer modes is the fact that they call it planetary engagements. While it does sound something like Galactic Conquest from the older Battlefront games, it also sounds like full-scale battles like Supremacy and Walker Assault. And lastly, the word skirmish is mentioned again for a second time. To me, it sounds like they are alluding to skirmish, in which we'll be able to select our favorite mode, map, and play it offline. Note that there's a progression system that will be expanded in co-op single player, so my guess is that these new modes will have some kind of replayability to them, or there'll be plenty of modes for us to choose from. If there's going to be a progression and reward system involved, usually there has to be a good reason for something like this to be implemented in single player, so my guess is that we won't just be getting 2 modes or something lackluster, but instead multiple modes that we can enjoy with a friend. However, I'm hoping that whatever this mode is, it's like a sandbox experience where we can play any era we choose on any map with any game mode. Pretty much what Skirmish is. I also don't see why EA wouldn't include Skirmish in Battlefront 2, but at the same time I could also see where it could be overlooked and not put into the game simply because the company believes that the single player campaign hits the quota for fans. But that's just playing devil's advocate here. Oh yeah, and as a side note to those who were worried about this being a co-op only mode, on Battlefront 2's origin page, which is for PC players, there is a section that says you can enjoy solo play offline to earn rewards and customize heroes and troopers and then take it over to multiplayer to enjoy. This is more likely the same co-op split screen mode the homepage of Battlefront 2's website mentions, simply because the description is pretty much the same. However, split screen is only for the PS4 and Xbox One, which I know kind of stinks for PC gamers, but this is a little bit of a relief because I know a lot of players, including myself, were wondering if this was a co-op exclusive mode simply because it seems advertised that way. But it appears you can also play it by yourself as well, so it looks like you will be able to experience all 3 eras offline by yourself against bots. To what capacity though still remains in question, but it does indeed sound like what a lot of players have been asking for. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves just yet by assuming confirmation. If we've learned anything yet, it's to take everything with a grain of salt and be patient. I hope this provides those who want Skirmish in Battlefront 2 with a glimmer of hope. I look forward to seeing what EA has to offer us single player fanatics in this next Battlefront installment. Let me know down in the comments below what you think this new single player mode could be, as I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about this as well. Until then, peace out.